Hi everyone. My name is Jaden Barish, and I am the founder of J2 Tutoring. And this is the first video on our YouTube site. In this video, I'm really just going to be introducing what we do, introducing some of my co-tutors verbally. If you want more information on them, you can go to our website at j2tutoring.com. But yeah, and then I'm going to do a short math demo at the end of a little bit of a snippet of what we do, pretty quick part on factoring, but that'll basically be it. So again, my name is Jaden Barish. I'm a junior at the University of Texas at Austin. I've been tutoring for a couple of years now, and I decided to start this business. My main areas of expertise are math and statistics, but I can do American history and a little bit of Spanish as well. Some of my colleagues are Zach Brunel. He specializes mainly in statistics, computer science, and probability and data science. Uh, Max Goldberg, he specializes in organic chemistry, chemistry, and really most sciences under the sun. He's been a TA for a year as well, and Brunel has some experience too. Noah Cantor is another one of my colleagues. He does physics, engineering, and any type of math for the most part. And yes, so and we have Erica as well, who is a person on our marketing team, not necessarily a tutor, but a key part of the operation. So if you want to learn more, again, please visit J2 Tutoring and schedule a lesson if needed. Okay, but now, as of now, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna show a quick demo of some cool math tricks on here. It's gonna be pretty fast because, I want to keep it short and snappy. But the first thing I want to show, just loading up a whiteboard here, I do want to show some cool factoring tricks, some cool factoring techniques that are pretty necessary for most disciplines in the STEM field. So we're gonna do some factoring. So some two key methods that are necessary to know. Given their applications in stuff like quadratics, especially, and word problems, are you have dots, which stands for difference of two squares. So essentially, like it is the difference of two squares. I'll give you an example, like x squared minus 4. So as you notice, x squared is a square. X times x is x squared. That defines as a square. And then you have 4, which is the square, which is 2 squared, right? And this is a difference. So essentially, this is a difference of two squares. Now, how do you factor this, right? Well, you take the square root of both terms. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 4 is 2. So now you're here. But then you're like, well, you split that into two factors. Like, okay, well, how do I know the signs? Well, they're opposite signs, essentially. And the reason why this works is because this knocks out the middle term, right? So if you do x times x, here, I'll show you the distribution. If you do x times x, you get x squared. If you do x times negative 2, you get negative 2x. And then you do 2 times x, that's positive 2x. And then 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. And you realize this knocks it out, and you're back where you started by foiling it out. So that's really how dots works. Now, the reason why this is important is because you might see this with a quadratic, with a lot of word problems, that there are two variables, or sorry, that it's a power of 2, or degree of 2, I should say, of the polynomial. This will come in handy for sure. It's one technique that you see a lot. The other one, the main one, is a trinomial technique. It's called AM factoring. And essentially, you have three terms. That's what a trinomial is. It's a quadratic. And it's of the form like this. They go down in degree one by one. So an example of this would be like something like that. So it's kind of like a magic trick. It's like a rhythm. I mean a riddle, not a rhythm. It's like a riddle. So you're trying to figure out, well, what does AM stand for? Like, what the hell is that? Well, you're trying to figure out what adds to the middle and multiplies to negative 12. It sounds a little tough, but it's not as tough as it actually is. The name of the game is to start at the back. You want to start with the multiplication because there are less factors of negative 12, but there are infinite ways to add to the coefficient of x, which is 1. There are infinite ways to add to 1, but there are limited ways to multiply to negative 12. The first thing you got to realize with this, right, is you know that the structure is going to be like this because you know the front term has to be x squared. And I showed you that way of foiling up here, how that works out. You got to figure out the numbers. For one, you know they have to be opposite signs. Why do we know this? Because negative 12 is negative. So if you have a negative number, then the only way to make a negative is to multiply a positive and a negative number. Now, how do you know where the numbers go, right? That's the kicker. Well, first of all, you know it's got to be positive and negative, right? Then you got to think of factors of 12 that might add to 1. So you're like, all right, well, we got 12 and 1. And I'm not worrying about the signs just yet. Sometimes you can tell without the signs that it won't work. Like, of course, this won't work, no matter how you spin it. 6 and 2, and then you're like, all right, well, that doesn't really work either because you either get 4, you get 8, you get -4, so that doesn't really work. And then you're left with 4 and 3. You're like, those are relatively close. I can make that work, right? You're like, all right, I could use my intuition on this. One of them's got to be negative, right? And you know that this number has to be positive. So who's bigger, 4 or 3? Well, 4, right? So of course you got to make this positive because positive's got to win against the negative in the addition. So then you're left with this, and you're good. If you FOIL this out like I did before, you're going to get the exact same thing. Now, very key point here, okay? I'm going to keep this short, only one example each, but the order of where you put those numbers, like you're probably like, well, what if the second term has the +4 and the first term has the -3? That doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Not in this case. The only time that really matters is if there's a coefficient in front of this. If you have a coefficient in front of the x squared, you got to really watch yourself because then you got to take into account the fact that this number, let's say that there's a 2 here, right? And I'll show you this actually. Let's show this quickly. If I have something like this, right? If I'm doing something like this, and then you multiply it out, you're like, okay, well, you got 2x squared minus 6x plus 4x minus 12. And again, that was foiling it before. You get this 2x squared minus 2x minus 12, right? But then here's the problem. You're not going to get the same thing if you switch it. If you do something like this, it will not be the same thing. And the reason why is because now the 4 is receiving the 2. So these are different numbers, right? So now you're at 8x minus 3x. That is not the same thing at all. The front and the back are the same, but the middle term is completely different. You're at -5, you're at 5x now. Sorry, positive 5x. You're at positive 5x now. You're not at the -2x. So just watch yourself when there's a coefficient in front of the first x. But when there is a coefficient, that's where you want to start when you're making your factors. You want to start at the first term. You got to see what that multiplication looks like. You got to deal with that first. You got to make sure that first term is taken care of, the square. That makes it a quadratic. That's a snippet of what we do here at J2 Tutoring. If you want to know more, then schedule a lesson if you'd like to get some help in a topic like this. But I will continue to post videos about small shorts about cool techniques, cool tricks that I know that may help you along the line. And it could be a variety of things. And my other colleagues will post things in their disciplines, such as chemistry, physics, data science, whatever that may be. So we're here to help. Thank you, and have a good night.